Welcome to Tolston Wood Studio. I'm Linda Jones. I'm a watercolour artist, but I also paint in acrylic and mixed media, and I've chosen these three paintings to illustrate the differences of each. A traditional watercolour on the left, an acrylic in the middle, and the smaller painting on the right is mixed media. Before we go down to my studio, I'd like to share some of the paintings in my home gallery. As you will see, I like to paint nature, birds, trees, flowers, and landscapes. And I live in a wonderful place that allows me to do all these things. But I also paint when I travel. Here we have Californian poppies. This was painted at Huntington Gardens and is called the San Marino poppies. I like painting trees, looking up at the sky, and I particularly like the colour of the clouds in this one with the silhouette of the bare trees of winter. This is a favourite local place to paint. This is the Old Fence Post and it's in Great Falls Park. It's mixed media on fabric. Above we have a very different painting of trees. This is mixed media with an underpainting of watercolour with crinkled tissue paper on top, and the crinkles in the paper give me the texture of the branches, which are highlighted in oil pastel. This acrylic painting of a tree is rather different. It is a year in the life of a tree, spring, summer, fall, winter, based on a tree in my own backyard. By it you can see examples of the art cards that I make from many of my paintings. They're blank inside for your own message. And over here is something else that I do in my spare time when I'm not painting. With wool and fabric, I create individual holiday ornaments. Now let's go down to my studio, passing some of my other paintings along the way. Here is my studio set up in the walkout basement of our house. It is set up to teach watercolour to up to 6 students, but at the moment I'm having to paint here on my own. Come and join me to see what I'm painting at the moment. It is a watercolour painting based on a photograph of a tree in my backyard last year. And I'm being more adventurous using a wider range of colours from my palette. For this painting, I only make the puddles of pure pigment with water here, and I mix the colours on the paper rather than in the palette. So here you see I have started with one layer of paint on each of these leaves over here, and to get the effect of the full leaf with varying colours of the autumn, I then layer sequential washes one on top of the other to create the variations in each leaf. Take this leaf for example. I started with an underpainting of orange watercolour, and now I'm going to apply in patches the different colours on top of it to create the structure of the leaf. So my next colour I'm going to use is yellow, cad yellow, just a weak wash, and I start filling in the leaf in patches in that colour. Then I will return to my palette and pick up another colour, yellow ochre this time, and I'll be dropping in certain areas, but not everywhere, this darker colour. Now it will take several washes or several different colours layered on top of each other to create the autumnal colours, and I could even on some of the darker edges add a little purple, because purple with orange actually creates a brown. so giving the darker colours of the leaf. And when I have a run, as I have at the bottom of that leaf, I just take it off gently with tissue. Now this leaf will need a few more colours. I'll add a little bit more of purple down this side. Not continuous, but giving the leaf structure. And then I can wash over the veins of the leaf so they show very faintly. Now I'm going to turn my attention to the one above. Now purple is not a colour that you will see in a tree, but I'm going to mix it so that it ends up with a colour like this. This has got purple in it and this has got purple in it. So I'm going to lay on top, first of all, a blue. Loosely on top. Some of it more concentrated than the others, so it's not uniform over the whole leaf. A little bit more blue. And you can see the two colours showing together. And then I'm going to pick up my cad yellow again. And of course that gives a greeny hue to it. And adds more interest to the leaf. Now it's all fairly pastel, so I want to add a little bit darker areas at the edge again. And a bit more yellow. So each leaf is built up in this way. I think I want to add a bit more blue to that one. And it needs the veins to show a little bit more clearly, so I'll take a finer brush and work in the lines of the, again I've got so much water there, I'm taking it back into the leaf rather than soaking it up in this particular case. I'm obviously not going to be able to finish this painting today and include it in this video, as I've got a lot of work still to do on the leaves and of course the background. But I look forward to being able to share the finished painting with you, perhaps next year at one of our Grateful Studios Art Fests, or the studio tour next year, when I hope you can join me in my studio in person. Until then, goodbye.